Well, we got to talk about the Browns again. So let's get into Monday Night Football. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and we're back to finish off week 13. That's right. It was a wild weekend of football. We are going to go over the entire week 13 recap in just a little bit. It wasn't a great Sunday for us, wasn't horrible. But luckily Thursday and Friday bailed us out, so we're right around break even as we head into Monday Night Football. But just a quick reminder, after this video will be the NBA Best Bets video as we start in on December now. It's been a good start to the year, up over 13 units, so hopefully we can keep that going in the NBA as well. But of course, before we get started, any graphics you see in this video or other videos are from an app called OUTLIER, the best player prop research tool on the market. I am using this every single day for probably too long, to be honest with you. But click that link below. You get a 7-day free trial. So here we go. I usually do dad jokes and basketball videos, but let's do one here. So here we go. I stayed up all night trying to figure out where the sun was. Then it dawned on me. Yeah, pretty cheesy. In this video, we're going to recap week 13, and then we're going to preview and give our best bets for the Browns at the Broncos. I feel like I talk about the Cleveland Browns every single day. I don't know why. Some of it's by my choice, and then we'll finish it with the recap. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment below. Appreciate all the comments and all the videos. It really helps this channel grow. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button as we are on our way to 34,000 subscribers. Also, anyone who watched the Kyle Kerms live show on Sunday had a ton of viewers. That was awesome, and I saw a lot of Jabo people in the chat. I appreciate it. That was pretty cool to see. But let's get it rolling, and that means it's recap time. All right, here is the full recap like we do every single weekend. As you can see there on the top, we already went over these games, but Turkey Day and Friday were really good to us. 6-2. Unfortunately, I bet too many half units, so we only won 1.68 units, but it was a great start to the weekend. And then we get to Sunday. So the game bets, under 42.5 Seattle Jets. Some of you guys were saying how terrible of a read that was. Guys, it went over on the very last score of the game with like 7 minutes left. And it had one special teams fumble. It had a kick return for a touchdown, and it had a pick six. And it went over in the fourth quarter. I love the read, guys. When you bet an under, you cannot have all these special teams and pick sixes. Then it's over. But that wasn't in my handicap, obviously. So Rams minus 2.5. They got the job done. Slow start in the first half, but then their defense settled in, and they won by 7. Next one, Chargers team total over 23.5. They couldn't score. They moved the ball a little bit, but they just could not finish drives. They looked ugly, to be honest with you. And they actually got a defensive touchdown just to get it to within one touchdown. Just a bad read on my part. I thought that would be a higher scoring game, but the offenses just sucked. That's just how it is. So anyways, those were 3 half unit plays. So we lost 0.64 units. And then the player props. Player props have carried us all year. We've done really well on them, but my goodness, Jaylen Warren. I know some of you guys are angry out there. I've seen some comments over 38.5 rush yards. I do want to say to you guys, I am not in the coaches meeting. Nobody saw this coming. He only got a few carries. He's the best runner on the team. He's proven it all season long when he's been in there. And Mike Tomlin just said, you know what? We're just going to throw the ball a lot and only let Najee run. I don't know what to tell you guys. We can call it a bad read. I just had no idea. The books even have a rush attempts line of 10.5 or 11.5. Everybody and their mother thought he would at least get close to 10 carries. He didn't. So it was a no sweat loser, unfortunately. Taysom Hill got the job done. He actually fell 4 yards short of that ladder, which we'll talk about in a second, when he got hurt and left the game. Hopefully he's okay. But he got the job done pretty early on the over receiving yards. Saquon Barkley, he ran the ball better than I thought. I mean, most of it was in the fourth quarter, but the team was just not getting many possessions. I think they had 6 plays in the third quarter only. I mean, when you have a game like that, again, a lot of these game scripts just did not go the way I was anticipating or we need to get these bets to win. He had 2 catches for like 10 yards, I believe it was. But it's just one of those games where he ended up running the ball, but the Ravens had the ball for a very long time, and then the Eagles would go 3 and out, and then 3 and out, and then you realize, oh, it's already the fourth quarter, and they haven't had the ball much. So anyways, it's not an excuse, just kind of telling you how the game went. Nico Collins, 60-plus receiving yards. He crushed it. He went over 100 yards. Bucky Irving, 40-plus. I think he was close to 100. Maybe he got over 100. Either one. I mentioned I like both their original lines, too. If you guys took that, you got winners on that. Tony Pollard over 63.5 rush yards. Just like betting NBA, we lost on a blowout. I mean, before you could even settle in, eat your breakfast or lunch, wherever you're living, they were down 28-0. I mean, I don't know what to say, guys. It was just a complete and utter blowout. You knew at that point Tony Pollard has no chance because teams aren't going to be running the ball. I think he got like 3 carries, maybe 4 from the second quarter on. It's just one of those games. So blowout, you chalk it up. Ladder parlay, like I said, Taysom Hill fell 4 yards short, but didn't matter because Saquon Barkley did not get the job done. Quarter unit sprinkle on plus 536. So that's player props. Anytime touchdowns bring us together. Mike Evans touchdown plus 130, and James Cook on Sunday Night Football in the snow got the job done. The only one was Nico Collins. That's right. The guy who had over 100 receiving yards could not find the end zone. That offense just kind of struggles still. But anyways, 2-1 in the anytime touchdowns. There's the overall Week 13 record, starting with Turkey Day all the way through Sunday Night Football. 11-9, down 0.21. I mean, we are practically break even. So if we win the 2 Monday nights, we can say we had a profitable weekend. But yeah, just some rough breaks. Frustrated. I was hoping the weekend would go a little better, but it is what it is. That's Week 13 bets recap. And now let's look at page 2 and check out the season overall record just to kind of help you guys out. Game bets, there it is. They have not done great, to be honest. Down 7.24. The player props have absolutely carried us. 70-51 plus 10.56 units all the way down. Ladder parlays, all that. Trends parlay has not got a winner yet. We put in 2 or 3 legs together. Not official there, but overall record, there it is. We are up 2.58 units on the NFL season. I wanted more, but you know what? We're not done yet. We still got quite a few weeks left, so hopefully we can get on a hot streak yet again. But there's a season overall record, and now let's get in to Monday Night Football. All right, we are heading out to Denver, Colorado, where the Broncos host the Cleveland Brownies. Broncos minus 5.5. Total in this game is 42.5. Quick trend: Browns haven't covered the spread in consecutive games yet this season. Just want to point that out. Browns coming in on 10 days rest. They have a definite rest advantage, but they're only 1-1 against the spread with the rest advantage. Broncos coming in winners of 4 of their last 6. Bo Nix, I believe, has been named Rookie of the Week 3 times in a row now. That's how well he is playing. Big disparity here in EPA per play. Browns 19th, Broncos 2nd. That's all I'm going to give you. I'm sick of talking the Browns. I feel like they play on primetime, or I talk about them every week, so that's all I got for you. But I got 2 best bets that I absolutely love, like I usually do on primetime, because I don't want to invest too many units onto one solo game when a lot of weird things can happen. So my first half unit play is the Broncos minus 5.5 at minus 115 on FanDuel. Yes, it's 6. There's 6s out there. I like it there too, but obviously at FanDuel, getting 5.5 with 6 being key number. I'm not going to overthink this one. The Broncos are just flat out better on both sides of the ball and at home. Yes, the Browns have the rest advantage. I don't even care. You know why? Because I cared last game when they faced the Saints. They were coming off a bye. I thought they'd come off fresh. I thought they have a good game plan, and they looked like hot garbage. So I don't care anymore about the Browns being with a little rest advantage here. The Browns, as you guys know, are a really up and down team, especially with Jameis. They can look really good, beat good teams, and then look really bad, lose 35-14 against the Saints like they did last week. So, and by the way, that loss to the Saints was their only tough road game they faced. Only road game they faced with Jameis Winston. I mean, they got crushed. This can be a tough matchup for Cleveland versus this Broncos defense. We've talked about it before. Denver's given up the second fewest points per game in the league, 16.8. The fewest points per game at home in the NFL, 14.8. 13.7 points per game given up in the last 3 games at home, or last 3 games. We think of Denver as an elite pass defense, but honestly, they're also a really good run defense, giving up only 3.8 yards per attempt, just behind Baltimore, Minnesota, and KC. That's it. Pass defense, how about giving up the 8th fewest pass yards per game, 2nd fewest pass yards per attempt at only 5.8. They are top 8 in the opposing QB passer rating for a reason. Broncos, the number 1 red zone defense in the NFL. As you can tell, anything and everything, this is a top 5 defense. Only 39% of opponent red zone drives end in a touchdown, and not many people even get to the red zone against them. Browns offense now against this defense, so they're bottom 10 in everything. Sorry, Browns offense versus the Broncos defense. The Browns offense, as you guys know, they are just bad. They struggle on the ground still. I thought they'd eventually pick it up as their O-linemen got healthier and healthier, but they just haven't. We're going to talk about the ground game here in just a little bit, but Jameis is a turnover machine waiting to happen. He really is. This is going to be his toughest test that he's ever faced. I think he's going to throw at least 1 pick. It's not a bet I have, but I just think he's definitely going to. Broncos offense, Bo Nix is, like I said, he's won awards for a reason. He is playing absolutely on fire right now. Last 3 weeks, 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions for almost 800 passing yards. And now he's facing a Browns defense, 12th most points per game given up on the road, average in a lot of categories. They're not as elite as they were last year. Even last year, though, when they were elite, they weren't great on the road. Broncos also, this is why I love it. They're not just beating teams, guys. They are crushing teams. Denver is 8-2 against the spread the last 10 games. Not just that, their last 5 wins they've had have all been by double digits. This is not a team squeaking by. This is a team that usually just dominates people on offense and on defense. Give me the better team at home to cruise to an easy win here as my first best bet. And my second one for another half unit, Nick Chubb under 56.5 rush yards, minus 110 on bet 365. As you can see by this outlier screenshot, under 4 or 5 games this season. He's only played 5 because of injury, obviously. And the only over he had was barely at 59 yards, and he had 20 attempts just to get to 59 yards. So he's averaging only 3.1 yards per carry in his 5 games. I doubt he is going to all of a sudden go over this in a tough matchup. He's yet to have a run over 15 yards this season. He is lacking explosiveness, as most of you guys can see when you watch the games. And then the Broncos run defense, only 3.8 yards per attempt, like I just mentioned, fourth in the NFL. They don't allow explosive plays, and Chubb, let's just face it, doesn't get explosive plays. So he's going to have to get there with a lot of carries. Only 2 running backs have gone over this line versus Denver in the last 2 months. Derrick Henry, he's pretty good. J.K. Dobbins, that was when the Chargers were a really good running team. Other than that, I mean, it's just been lights out. So game script, as I mentioned earlier, I expect the Broncos to cruise to an easy win, to be playing with the lead the whole game, which means with the Browns playing from behind, he should not get a lot of carries. I don't expect him to get more than 15 carries in this one. Even if he does get 15 carries, he would need to average around 4 yards per carry versus this top 5 run defense just to get there. I don't see it. Browns O-line is not exactly opening up a lot of holes for Chubb as well. My other bet that I almost went with, other than Chubb under rush yards, is Jameis Winston over pass attempts because of the game script and how this is going to go. Jameis has been chucking it all over the field. So just something else to look into. Again, you tell whatever you guys want, just trying to give you info, but it was between those two for this second bet. So give me the Chubster under 56.5 rush yards as my second and final best bet for this game. And before we get out of here, let's check out the recap. There it is, the Broncos minus 5.5 for a half unit, and then Nick Chubb under 56.5 rush yards for another half unit. Thank you guys for watching as always and for the support all NFL season long. Just a quick reminder, the NBA best bets video will be out after this one as well. But thanks again. Hope everyone has a great Monday, and we'll talk to you soon.